Hello, welcome everybody. This is my video on 5 tips for studying during lockdown. It's hard to keep that focus. Number 1 is write down what you want to accomplish for the next day before you go to bed. Because before going to sleep, it's usually the time when the brain decides, hey, what's sleep, eh? It's time to do literally anything but sleep. If you're one of those gifted people who can actually sleep as soon as they hit the covers, I honestly envy you. Now, I found that this technique is beneficial to do it because amongst all this overthinking, subconsciously, your mind will be deciding whether that day has even been productive. Once you've decided that, think of what will satisfy you if you get it done by that next day. And if you're not satisfied with today, what is it about today that hasn't satisfied you? Aim to do that for tomorrow. Are there assignments or exams that you need to prepare for? Sometimes we look at an assignment or an exam and think, oh my, it's too much. But it's all about breaking that big chunk into smaller chunks. For example, I had a long ethics and governance assignment. When I broke it down, it's much easier. I didn't just think, oh yeah, I'm gonna do something tomorrow, I'm gonna do something about it. I first broke it down into, let me read those 10 pages for the assignment brief. And when I read that, and I decided the next plan of action was to read the official report. It wasn't fun, it wasn't easy, it was 90 pages. But as soon as I did that, I realized that everything was piecing together. And I realized what the next steps that I needed to take were. So then over the next few days, the next few weeks even, I would do little steps each day, and if I got stuck on them, I'd leave it and I'd do it another day. It's all about those little steps. The next point is sleep times for everyone are flexible. Each person has a flexible sleep schedule. They all have different sleep times, and what works better for some doesn't work better for others. I've seen so many YouTube videos online saying we must sleep early, we must wake early, people who wake up late are failures and they can't do anything. But all of this is meaningless. It might work for them, but it might not work for you. Some of us are early birds, some of us are night owls. I've tried pretty much every schedule myself, to be honest, and I finally figured out that during lockdown, 11 o'clock is the time to wake up for me. Find a time that works for you. Now, the third section and tip is the Pomodoro technique. When I go to sit down and start work, I find this technique really useful and it works like a charm. There are 3 or even 4 25-minute slots of work with a 5-minute break in between of each of these slots. At the end of this time, at the end of these 3 or 4 big slots, you can have a longer 20 or 30-minute break. And it's this break structure which gives us little incentives to keep going, totally focused on the work. And knowing that we'll get that break, that reward at the end. The penultimate tip is just, we're always inclined, we're just always on this work mentality. We'll also just learn something new as a hobby, something to take our mind off that work. I'm gonna admit, I spent a lot of time procrastinating until I decided that it's time to learn something new. I decided I'm going to make that jump and learn how to use Premiere Pro and also Photoshop and Adobe After Effects. It doesn't stop there. Once you start learning something, don't stop. And we've got this coronavirus amongst us and this whole pandemic arising, but it's meant that the summer jobs we're going to get to increase our employability skills and boost our CV for after we graduate and get that job we want, those prospects are gone. So what we need to remember is that just because those employment options are gone doesn't mean that we can't improve ourselves. Go onto these job sites, Indeed, or onto the official sites for like Tesco's or whatever, anything, whatever fits you. Look onto their job spec and see what you need to do. See what the skill spec is. So I want to be an accountant, and I searched up accounting graduate roles and stuff like that on Indeed, and I found out that there's some softwares which overlap amongst all of them. Some softwares are used by most accountants, and that's what I need to be skilled in. So I went into LinkedIn Learning and I searched up accounting, and it came up with Excel for accountants. So just by taking that course, I've already made myself more employable. And then I'd further make myself more employable by looking into these specific softwares and learning them and adding them to my portfolio. Skillshare is also great for this. It doesn't matter whether you use LinkedIn Learning or Skillshare. Each have their own advantages, and they're each very good things. Now remember, our uni, it's got LinkedIn Learning as part of studying there. You've just got to connect it to your LinkedIn account. Or even if you don't have one, you can just use the LinkedIn Learning account separately. But it's really a good tool to use. And the final part of this video is just leaving the workspace. When we're working, it's very easy to forget that leaving a work environment every now and then is actually good for us. Our bodies need this to reset ourselves and loosen our bodies. Because when we're on this work, we just become fixated on this work mentality that we need to finish this, we can't get up, we can't do anything else. But it's actually good to loosen our body. Get up, drink some water, go to a banana or a small snack. Small. Don't do what I did. I'd be like, yeah, it's time to go for a snack. And I know a lot of students are like me. They'll go for a small snack. And that'll turn into like an hour long, oh, let me just eat a bunch of this random stuff, sit on the sofa and watch TV. Don't do that. Small snack. Something like some nuts or something. And then get back to work. So those are the 5 tips that I found have really helped with my productivity. I hope it's useful for you guys, and if you liked the video, please remember to subscribe or comment for any suggestions that you have that you'd like me to cover. And if this video was good, like or dislike, just, yeah. Thank you everybody, that's it for me for today.